Hey guys, Dan from worldofmrgrey, Dandalf the Grey, and we are back with episode 2 of The Watcher Ghost Files. They don't say it like that. But this is a breakdown analysis of the ghostly prisoners of Alcatraz. Now, if you missed the first episode, I think I've linked it down below, where if you go there, I think if you click that right there, you'll watch the first episode. Thanks to everyone who watched it previous, and I think a couple of you in the comments thought I was debunking like the Watcher, the Ghost Files. I wasn't. It's not. These breakdown analysis are not debunking videos. It's just going over the possibilities of what they might have seen or heard throughout the episode. So anyway, like the first episode, cue the overly dramatic intro. Now, for those new, I'm a fan of The Watcher Ghost Files. They were previously on BuzzFeed Unsolved. Ryan Bergara, Shane Madej. Shane Madej is the ardent skeptic. Ryan Bergara is the full-blown believer. But they meld together very nicely, if you ask me. Yeah, they hear stuff, they see stuff. Well, one of them does, right? But let's get into it. I would love to go to Alcatraz. I've always wanted to go there. It's been like one of my destinations between Alcatraz, Japan, parts of America, Japan. Like in the previous episode, if you haven't watched this episode, not mine but theirs, go there, watch it first. I've linked it down below. Like and subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and come back and we'll see what we can see. Unlike the previous one, I know I keep pausing, shocker. Like the previous one, we're not going to watch the whole episode. Like I said, we'll go watch it first, but we're just going to go over the points that supposedly happened throughout the episode. Before we get into it, I've noticed they're getting like sort of, like I say, a lot more things happening than they did in the previous like BuzzFeed Unsolved. Interesting. Alright, let's go.
I got myself a little doohickey here. It's called a spirit box.
The spirit box rapidly...
Now, I'm not going to go over every time they say they're going to use the spirit box, the Ovulus, the Estes method. I think I said, the REM pod. I'm not going to go into them every episode because I've covered them pretty much in the first episode. If you want to know my thoughts on those, click on that link once again. Go watch the first episode.
This room is home to perhaps the most famous photo of an apparition in the entire prison. The photo was taken in 2014 by two tourists from England named Sheila Sillery Walsh and Paul Rice, and appears to show the face of a woman in a hairstyle from the 1930s or 1940s.
Whoa!
Now,
don't get me wrong, right? If I took a photo in some place like that and I saw that would have freaked the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie, it would. There's a couple of things going on here, right? Now, it's a grainy photo, right? Because Shane and Ryan, they take a photo after this with their like 2022 iPhone or Samsung, whatever the phone they're using, and it's crystal clear. As you can see, it's well lit, it's crystal clear. It's a very good photo. But going back to the original 2014 photo, I have no idea what camera they're on, but it's not a very good camera. But what I can see, right, you can tell that the photo taker is directly in front of that, what's it called? Porthole? Something? I don't know. So the misty part there, right, including that, to me it just looks like the photo taker. I don't know which way they were standing, but they were definitely like head on with the porthole, taking a photo like that or like that, I don't know. And I think the white part of the face there is just the reflection, and then the rest of it, because I know there's seats in there, so I think the rest of that there could be the seating area in the background. I think it's just reflection of the background behind the photo taker. Now, as always with these, I'm not there, so I don't know for 100%, but that's where, going on photography knowledge and how, when it comes to reflections, when you're taking photos, that's what I think it is. And it's just a classic case of pareidolia. If you were to hide, what if I can do it? So I've taken this photo in Photoshop so we can mess about with it, right? So the lit up area there, although it's not lit up, but the whitish area is the reflection of the person taking the photo. And that area there is probably the seating area in the background. because they're pretty close up, so the angle of the photograph would be looking downwards. That's what it looks like to me. If we were to take, right, now don't forget, like I said, pareidolia is a powerful thing, but I was just to take, for example, that, right? So I've pretty much got rid of the black area in the background, which was supposedly her hair. So then that right there, as you can see, it doesn't look like anything like a face. It looks more like a reflection of someone holding, like, it's like almost like elbows and shoulders. I think it's just a simple case of pareidolia. Or a ghost. We'll just leave it at that.
Now, as you can see,
That's a lady.
there's clearly a lady there with 1930s, 40s style.
She looks like she's in black and white. They're really selling it.
This is one of those instances where, like, yeah, it's either shopped or it's there.
I genuinely don't think it's a photoshopped picture. I think the people who took that picture genuinely believe, or genuinely thought they saw like a lady in 1940s garb in the window. Like they said, I'm fairly sure they say they didn't see it when they took the picture. It was only after they reviewed the picture. Probably because they in the proper daylight. Like I said, the camera they are using wasn't. I don't know. It was 2014. I have no idea what camera they were using. 2014 went that long ago, so it was really good cameras around then. But they were probably in a dimly lit area. And as we can see from this, it's a pretty grainy photo. The camera is probably struggling with the shadows. I think I've covered this, but again, when it comes to cameras, if they're not in a well-lit area, or if they haven't got proper lighting, or if their ISO isn't the correct balance for the environment, the blacks, like you look at this camera now, the blacks, I'm wearing a black t-shirt, it's not quite melding into the background, but I can guarantee, because of YouTube processing, even though I've put this video up at 1080, I can guarantee the blacks of my t-shirt right now are probably melding into the background of the room. And it's simply the sensor on the camera struggling between the light and the darks of the mid-tones, the shadows and the highlights. That's pretty much it. But like I said, I think Ryan goes to say that it's either real or it's photoshopped. It's definitely not Photoshop. I think it's a fully real photograph, unaltered photograph, but it's just what's it called? An optical illusion.
Audience investigator Michelle Gwendon also captured an image of her own.
Hi, my name's Michelle and I have evidence from Alcatraz. So when I was in the visiting room, I had my family take a picture of me through the little window.
Now again, and they go on to say in this one that there could have been a reflection because the sunlight was on the photographer this side of the window. But again, it's probably just a half reflection of the person taking the photo. And you can see from the sides of the because you can see both reveals of the window. You can tell you know they're taking the photo pretty much dead on, because if they were taking it either to the left hand side or the right hand side, if you were to the left hand side you wouldn't see that reveal. If you were to the right hand side you wouldn't see that reveal. So you can tell the photographer is taking it head on. So that, once again, is probably just half a reflection of the dark and the light of the person taking the photo. Now this is their photo,
we can get
ready?
one ourselves. Okay, so I'm already seeing my reflection because of the light.
That
There
makes
you go.
sense.
So that on the right hand side is Ryan's photograph he took, which is obviously it's crystal bloody clear. Because just phone cameras are way better now. But he says himself that he can see his own reflection. And we're not going to see it as much because, like I said, the better the camera, the more detail you will see. So the more the camera doesn't have to struggle between the dark and the lights of the environment. So that's why in the clearer photo, even though you can still see Ryan's reflection, sort of, if that was a worse camera, that reflection would probably be more prominent. And obviously it's different lighting anyway. But anyway, moving on.
Okay, I'd love it if you'd stop smooching at me, because I don't think that adds anything.
My husband is a murderer.
I added that part for no reason other than it's bloody hilarious.
It's here that a photo was captured of a disembodied leg by a visitor to Alcatraz and was posted to ghoststudy.com. But is this of an inmate or perhaps a guard such as Officer William Miller.
Now, when I first saw this, I'm going to move my big fat head up there. When I first saw this,
Of an inmate?
I struggled to see what they were pointing at first, and apparently, and then I saw it, and apparently they are legs with feet. There's another leg with a foot. Don't get me wrong, it does look like that. It does, but if this was supposed to be a ghost walking, you literally have to be walking like that. Like the funny walks, like John Cleese's funny walks ministry of funny walks. You'd also be walking at full strides. So it's obviously not proportional to an actual human being. But what I think it is, and again, it looks like it's a zoomed in photo to me. So what I think it is, light streaks. It's a long exposure. Now I don't think deliberately did a long exposure photograph at the time, but maybe they had a certain setting on, or the camera's just not that good. They couldn't let enough light into the aperture of the camera. But it just looks like the aperture was open a bit too long. When you take something like that, any streaks, any light sources, sorry, and if you slightly move the camera, it'll create like almost like a ghostly streak of light. And it doesn't have to be a strong light, it will happen on a weak light as well. But again, who am I to say? Who knows? It's probably a ghost.
Sorry what happened to you. Is there anything that you would like to say that was unsaid that day? Maybe one last message? Simply, if there's anybody here with us, please let your presence be known. You could rap on those prison bars. You could touch one of us.
You could slam the door shut. Lock us in here.
I would not like that at all, actually.
This one is interesting, right? They hear a voice in the cell. To me, it sounds like Shane. I think it sounds like Shane, even though it's whispering. It took it back. It sounds like Shane because he's a Chicago accent. And, you know, I'm not an accent expert, but it sounds like Shane speaking. I'm not saying he did it deliberately, and even so, when on this, the facial expression he's making and the way he's looking is almost like he's trying to say something to Ryan, but right in the ear, and maybe they forgot this. Maybe he forgot he said it at the time, and when they went back to review the audio or whatever, they didn't realize Shane might have said something. Because, you know, you'd be surprised that in just everyday life, or when you're on the investigations, people don't realize if they like maybe mutter to themselves, or if they said something, then days later or like weeks later, sometimes they go back to review the footage and they think, oh shit, I don't remember saying anything to that. That must be a ghost voice. I'm not saying there is that, but to me it just sounds like Shane, not deliberately doing it, but it's just everything with his body language and his facial expression just says to me he was whispering something to Ryan. Like I said, the way his cheeks move, like he's almost, I'm over exaggerating here, but it's almost like he's, take it back. I'm whispering to myself like a weirdo now, but you know what I mean.
Well, we're going to use you as the speaker for the spirit box. You have noise canceling headphones on. You're going to say whatever you hear.
Once again, they're going to do the Estes method, where one will put noise cancelling headphones on and speak out the words they think is coming through the spirit box, and the other one just wanders around reacting to those words. And I said in the first episode that I have those exact headphones they're wearing, and these ain't noise cancelling. But what I didn't realize is that you can have different versions that look exactly the same. So they probably have got noise cancelling. I haven't, so I'm glad some of you pointed that out.
As our crew was leaving Broadway, our audio recorder that we left behind picked up this voice. And later in the night, we picked up this disembodied voice.
Again, those voices, I'm assuming the camera is, the microphone which is picking those up is coming from this camera which we're looking through right now. I'm assuming. I mean, the first one, I genuinely don't know what that first voice is. I can't quite make out what it could be, but the second one, to me, it sounds, how can I say, industrial, like mechanical. Almost like it's like an air conditioning unit switching on or something like that. We'll go over that now.
And later in the night, we picked up this disembodied voice.
This one. The click at the end tells me it's like maybe like an aircon unit or something, or even like maybe a soft door opening. It doesn't sound like a voice to me. It sounds industrial or mechanical, but again, I'm not there. And unfortunately, they put a lot of music over the stuff, so it's quite hard to hear it clearly. But if you put headphones on, you'll see what I mean. But like I said, I'm not there. I'm not 100%. But that's where it could be. Could be. Moving on.
The whole career is really just a racket for me to be able to enjoy historical sites on my own.
What he says there is one of my favourite things of going to haunted places. I don't go there for the haunting. I go there because it's just cool historical sites. I'm exactly the same.
I fucking hate this. What was that? I heard a little scream.
And the final one, because this is pretty short, to be honest with you. The scream, to me, it sounds like a seagull. What the hell is that? Because we know that, obviously, Alcatraz is on an island, and it's covered it's surrounded by birds of all kinds, seagulls mostly. It's just off the coast of, where's it, San Francisco? I think. It's just off the bridge, past the bridge. I don't know. But it is an island at the end of the day, and when you see any video of it in the daytime and the nighttime, it's surrounded by hundreds of seagulls outside, all squeaking and what they call quawking. It's not quawking, what they call. I don't know what seagulls do, but they make those sounds. That's what I'm getting at. Let's listen to it one more time, right? And you tell me if it sounds like a seagull, maybe, saying to the other seagull, "Get off my land."
I fucking hate this. What was that? I heard a little scream.
It sounds like a bird to me. Again, am I 100%? No, I'm not. But that's what it sounds like to me. And that is it. Even though I really enjoyed that episode, it was pretty uneventful, to be honest with you, compared to like the first episode and the ones I've seen so far. That was my breakdown analysis of the ghostly prisoners of Alcatraz, Ghost Files. I hope you enjoyed. I'm a big fan of these guys, so I really enjoy watching them, and I enjoy breaking them down. Just whatever. And as always, this isn't a debunking video. I say this a lot in the breakdown of analysis ones, because a lot of people say you didn't debunk shit, or please don't debunk these. I'm not debunking them. I'm just going over what the things they caught in their video could be. Let me know in the comments down below if you think I'm full of shit. Do you think they caught some stuff there? Let me know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I'll be back at episode 3 sometime very soon. Anyway, leave a like if you like this video. Leave a sub if you're new to my channel. I do this quite often. That's it. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.